Yeah, so my name is Tien. I'm an activist, and right now I work for the union, FNV, the biggest union of the Netherlands. And I think first, I'm really happy to be here and be part of, new to this movement. And I would love to learn a lot from you, because I think I would like to start with a lot of mistakes or potential mistakes that I made on my privacy in my life and as an activist. And I think a lot of people make these mistakes, and I hope that maybe I can also get some help from you in not repeating these ones. And then in the second part, I will tell a bit more about what I do now, what the political strategy is of the work that we do at the union, because I think that's also something that I can maybe provide you. So I think about 6 years ago, I started working, being an activist, I think finally found some people in Amsterdam that also were worried about the world, that were angry about political systems. And yeah, it's just like finding your people around you in your network, and then finally, okay, there it is, now you can do this job together. You don't have to sit with all these feelings yourself. And in the beginning, I was very naive. Also, I came from a very privileged position, meeting a lot of people that had a lot of other challenges in my in their life that I'd never challenged in my life. And I think that also, caused maybe some of the mistakes that I made in my privacy life. So yeah, when I first did activism, I remember we planned a campaign to take Shell to court, the big climate case. Maybe some of you heard about this case. And when we planned this, we were in a secret location and we put all our phones in the freezer. And I thought this was something from movies, and I thought, okay, whatever, this is maybe part of a show a little bit. So that was the first time I thought, okay, this is actually a thing. Okay, well, we'll see. I started doing a lot of other actions, like civil disobedience actions, and they said, oh, you need a nickname. Okay, yeah, well, people call me Tien, so let's go for Tien. And then one day, my friend came to me, and she said, something really strange happened. Somebody came to my house, and they started asking all these questions about, potential people in my environment that are doing activism, and maybe if I could give some information about them. And they were really fake. And in the end, she was really worried that something was going on with a friend of them, and she really didn't get, and she just answered some questions about her and actions that she went to and friends that they work, and she was just worried. And then around us, a lot of people had this. There were tens of people that got followed after actions to their houses by sometimes police in clothes, but sometimes also undercover, and always with these fake stories about they just wanted to help and understand and better protect us. And then we actually found out that there were entire files of us at the IVD, the security services in the Netherlands. I think one of the mistakes that I made until now, there is a law in the city of Amsterdam that I can access these files, but I never did because I'm just a bit scared. So I think that's also a bit okay, I'm also a bit scared of getting to know all these things, because what else is there, that they know about me and all the things that I did. And then a lot of activism happened in between, and then 2 years ago, my partner and we were very worried because the sister of my partner, she was on the move from Sudan to Europe because she fled for the war in Sudan. And we followed her entire trip and we supported her with money as we could. And then she said, I'm going to go through Russia because I found it an option there. And we all thought, okay, this is maybe not a good idea because there's a war going on, and no, don't do it. But no possibility to get it out of her mind. So she went there and she crossed the border from Belarus to Latvia, and then she got stuck in the middle of nowhere in a remote farm. And people said they were going to help them. They asked us more money. They didn't give them food, no water, and only internet to contact us and get more money for them to get away. And after 4 days, no sleep and worries, we thought, okay, we're going to go there and help them, because she was there with 4 others. So we went there, rent a car, and then in the beginning it went quite well. We were able to get the sister and 2 other people out of the place and bring them to a safe space. Then we went back to get the 2 other people that were left behind, and then we were caught by the police. And I remember like, okay, this is Europe, you know. Still, this is like European laws. So yeah, we didn't like. I said, yeah, just take us to the police station, and we will explain. Still very naive that I was. And then everything took super long, and then I started to worry a lot, like, oh, fuck, what is all in my phone? Yeah, I was there at the police station, and they was like, yeah, where did you get to know each other? Like, yeah, the demonstration for open migration, open borders. Like, fuck, I cannot say these things. What did I learn about my privacy and all these things? So at some point, like, okay, I'll wait until my lawyer. Like, fuck, how do I get a lawyer? So there were a lot of things going on there. And there was a lot of things in my phone that, for example, photos with my ex-girlfriend in a country where there's no gay marriage. So there was a lot of things that weren't in my mind, like, okay, I still don't know a lot of these answers, like what can I do with my data that's still on that phone? A lot of groups that I'm in, it is Signal groups and Telegram groups, but still there's so many data of that is still there with the police. Also, I'm out in the bail here, still a lot of things going on. But I think there's in this whole journey, a lot of activists are going through not exactly the same, but similar things, and things that they need better protection for their data and for the privacy, especially with the current political developments in this country and this world, this continent. So yeah, that's a big question that I have for this movement, and I'm really glad also to be part of this group. Yeah, so maybe a bit more like ending on a more positive note, like how we are right now building power in society and more, yeah, trying to build like a revolution here from the ground. I've done a lot of activism in mobilization in different groups for like climate justice, migration, gender rights, indigenous rights, and a lot of mobilization. But then I also realized, like, over the years, what did I actually build in like long-term networks and long-term structures and power that actually can really like, yeah, that we can rely on. If shit really hits the fan, we have to have each other, you know, and we have to have these communities and networks and power structures to rely on. And I think in the movements that I've been part of, they were all really fast and they were all really like exhausting. And at some point people got burnouts and then the group collapsed again. And right now I'm working for the union, the workers' union. And I think that's a really good start to really like build these networks of people, not only in smaller bubbles, but really in the bigger, broader society on a long term that really can be like build power and resistance and resilience. Right now I'm working in the universities, the TU Delft, for example. A lot of smart people in one place, that's for sure, and a lot of different political opinions. Some people are getting paid from military budgets. Their work because there's a lot of connections between military weapon factories, like brands, and the university. And on the other side, there's like Palestinian activists who know exactly like how this militarization affects their communities back in Palestine, and they are fighting against these cuts. Fighting against the ties with the military regimes. So there's a broad spectrum of people and all in between, and this is called like a structure-based organizing. So there's self-selecting groups, which like, okay, we all care about the climate, let's come together, and we are a bubble, we're gonna go on the street and show like what democracy is. But there's also structured groups, but their structures already exist. But there's people from all different opinions, different backgrounds, and they all can be together, like are together in a group, but they don't work together, and they don't know, they are not organized yet. But to organize these groups, that's where the real power is. So we are doing that with a lot of decentralized leadership, because if you're finding a leader in a group, somebody who also already has like followers after them, they can, and you have them on your side, they can do so much more than I can do as only one organizer. So we are having long conversations with people like, what are the issues that you face in this university? What are the issues that you face in your day-to-day life? Really getting to know the people and like saying, okay, I also found another person that's also facing the same issue. And maybe their political views are completely different, but yet still the same issues they face in their university or in their workspace. And to bring these people together very slowly in a very long-term strategy, I think is where the real power is, where I really believe that change can come from. Another example that I find beautiful and another campaign that the union did in Schiphol, the big airport, they try to organize the people that are working on the luggage bands, like they're doing a lot of heavy work, and they didn't have like a good hours. There was a lot of like insecurity in their work. They had a lot of back problems because they had to carry all the big weights, but it was really badly organized. In Schiphol, their boss was really good organized. So they constantly were, it was getting worse and worse and worse. And then the union was coming in, and they thought, okay, let's get the people together. But Schiphol already did a lot of anti-union strategy work. So they said, like, don't talk to the union, they are dangerous, they are gonna, they're gonna radicalize you, and they're saying all these things about the union. So we had to start like really, really slowly. And it all started with a microwave, because all of them were really mad that they couldn't warm up their dinner. So they thought, like, okay, we make a nice enquête, like, okay, what do you want to change? Okay, the microwave. Yeah, we want a microwave. So the first victory of them altogether was a microwave. And they went with a petition to the boss saying, hey, we want a microwave. And the boss said, no, we're not going to do it. And that made them even more angry. And it was actually really good. Sometimes, like, a boss can help you a bit by saying something small is not going to happen. So, and then even more people joined, like, hey, we cannot get a microwave, let's go for the microwave. And of course, the microwave came there. And only 4 years later, they were able they were organized enough to strike. So they put their jobs down, and they only had to do that for like 15 minutes. And everything was so chaotic, because if you for 15 minutes don't, like, in the whole system is stopping, like the entire system collapses. So only 15 minutes of strike, and their outcomes were really good, like better working conditions, better income, better holidays, all of it. And it started with a microwave, and it took a long time, but in the end, they got organized, and there were a lot of different people who came together and worked together, and I think that's what real power is. And that's what we need, and I think that's also what we need you for. So, thank you.